I have learned more about these things in the last year and a half than I have wanted to. They are animal traps. In the last year and a half, we have trapped 18 raccoons at our house. I have neighbors in the room, and the good news for you is they all live at my house and not your house. There are more giving birth under our porch as we speak today. You know what I've learned about these traps? A couple things. They're easy to get into. They're hard to get out of. And when you look at the animal that's trapped in there, I don't speak raccoon, but I look into their eyes, and that's as close as I can get because I'm not going to touch one of them. But when I look into their eyes, I've reached the conclusion that they're just sitting there waiting to die. And that's the way it is with a trap. Easy to get into, difficult to get out of, and you sit there waiting to die. And that's some of you today. You've been seduced. And it was easy to get into because the world says it's okay. And the world entices you, and it looks good, and you think it's going to taste good, and it's easy to get into, and once you're into it, it's tough to get out of. And you're just sitting there waiting to die. But you know what else I've learned about these traps? They refer to them as humane traps. And I paid $75 a head for these critters to be taken away and released humanely. You can do the math about how much I've paid. But here's the good news. You've been caught in a trap called sin. And there's one who's paid the price to set you free. And you don't have to wait to die. You don't have to wait to die because he came and he paid the price and set you free. You know what else I've learned about these traps? The guy that takes them away is just a great guy, and he comes, and we on a first name basis now because he's been there so frequently. And he told me the raccoons are one of the smartest animals. He said once you trap a raccoon, you'll never trap him again. And unless I take this raccoon at least outside of a 20-mile radius of your home, he'll be right back, and you will never trap him again. And my question for you today is, why in the world are raccoons smarter than human beings? Because we end up back in the same trap every single time. We just end up there. God set us free, and we end up, because it still seduces us, and we still know it's a trap, and we end up back there every single time. Why are the raccoons smarter than we are? When we, earlier in the year, had to say goodbye to our family dog of 13 years, one of the things she did evidently was she prowled our backyard and kept critters away. And now living underneath our back porch are not raccoons, but there is a groundhog that we cannot trap. And I kid you not, it comes up onto our deck, looks in our patio door, and mocks me every morning. Like, not going to get me. And I wonder why. Once we've been aware of the trap, why don't we look at our enemy and say, not me. I mock you this morning. You will not catch me in that trap today because I know that you're trying to trap me. And one's already delivered me. My friend, it really boils down to the trap. Some of you are sitting in it and things aren't always as they seem. Somebody set you free. Some of you are outside of it. You found the freedom, but the world is seducing you. And maybe as recently as last night, you found yourself in the trap again. You don't have to live there. And you don't have to go back in. Friend, the last thing on your teaching outline, very simple, is this. You have a list. I'm not going to give you a list today because I could give you a list today of all the things inside this trap that might trap you. But I'd surely miss one. And you'd say, oh, thank God. He didn't mention that, so God must say my thing's not a seduction. I don't want to give you that. You need to make your list. You know I don't. You know God knows. What lie? What price have you agreed to pay? And the reality of it is it ends up having you in a trap every time.